Preethi.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Yes.
All right. So let me begin with my introduction. I'm Preethi here. I'll be the instructor for this complete DevOps course. And coming to my professional experience, I have more than 14 years of experience into IT, more than 7 years into DevOps, and I have played different roles in the project lifecycle and have worked in different phases of automation using a different or a huge stack of tools. And currently, I'm working as a DevOps DevOps lead for a project. You can also check out my profile on LinkedIn. So that's a brief about me. And coming to this course is a complete DevOps content where you will see the end-to-end CI/CD flow. Okay, here the scenarios are realistic, like so that you can work on the projects with confidence. Okay, that's the main agenda of the course. You can work in the projects, you can clear your interviews. Okay, that is the main agenda in designing any content or any topic in this course, right? Also here everything will be hands-on and practical oriented. Like first day today, we'll be having a discussion and overall we'll get a big picture on DevOps. We'll get an overview of what the course is like. From tomorrow onwards, hands-on begins. Okay, every day you will have a hands-on. You will have a lot of assignments. Quiz portal is there, separate quiz portal to assess yourself each day on each topic. Okay, that's how the course is designed. Right. So we can have, I believe definitely you'll be having a lot of questions regarding DevOps, who should take, who should not take, am I eligible, or else I'm coming from so-and-so background, I'm a developer, can I go for it? All of these questions will be answered today. You'll get a clarity on all these things in today's session. So we'll begin with this. And by the way, I would like to know every one of you are on mute, okay, to avoid any background noise. If you have any questions, unmute, speak out, and then again, please mute yourself, right? Or else you can also use the chat window. In the chat window, I have given my LinkedIn profile. I would be also sharing the course content in a while in the chat window. Any questions regarding that also, I'll take up, right? With this note, I would like to begin the class. Can we go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Whenever
Yes.
I ask you a question, you can unmute and confirm, or else you can also give thumbs up in the chat. Please give your affirmation wherever needed, which would help us to have a good interactive sessions. And how the notes will be shared, how the lab, all of these things we'll discuss today. Okay. So let's begin. Um, Before that, I would like to tell a few more things. Like we will be taking up any course from the basics. Being said that any topic will start from the scratch. Okay. Assuming that everyone is new. Some of you may know some topics, right? Some of you might be expertise in certain topics. Some of you might be completely newbie to to another topic. And also we have people from different backgrounds to keep everyone on the same page and to have that everyone should be benefited from the course. We'll be taking up the content from the basics, from the scratch, okay, to make sure we are all on the same page. So consider that as a revision if you already know, right? So let's begin. We will start with understanding what is DevOps. Some of you might be aware of it, very much aware of what is DevOps, right? Let's get a good understanding and clarity on these things. DevOps is a combination of two teams, development team and operations team, right? You know who are developers, programmers, you may call them as programmers or developers, okay? Whoever they are, whatever you call them, basically their objective is to develop the code, to develop the application, to see the application is as per the client expectations and so on. Of course, they will be also involved in building the application, right? And so on. And if you take ops teams, right, you may call them as admins, system admins, or network technicians, DBA, all of them I'm considering under here under ops, right? Their main objective is to take care of the servers, right? They will be taking care of the servers we are working on. Services, they would be taking care of the services, access, logins, right? Networks, all of this will be taken care by ops team. In general or in short, I can say infra management is handled by them, right? And yeah, develop. And also, yeah, see, to develop an application, or else you are using some application, means let's say you are using some Amazon.com, or else you are using some Instagram app, or else you are using some Facebook, whatever. Any application we are using means it has gone through so much process and so many teams are involved at the backend, right? In a software project, there were so many teams involved in it, so that you get the final product. So here I'm talking about a couple of the teams like dev team, ops team, and let me include QA, testing team also. Of course, like I'm saying, there were many other teams involved in. I'm talking about these three teams now. So yeah, developers develop it, testers will test it, ops teams will provide the infra. If dev team and ops team, I'm including dev and QA here, okay, under dev only. I'll refer them as dev from now. You mean that you consider QA also. Okay, let's say they'll test the application and so on. So now if dev team means QA team also, if they need any sort of infrastructure, like let's say they need a new service, they need a new OS. If they need anything, they would request the ops teams, right? And ops teams would serve the request by providing their requested infra or required infra, right? Let's suppose, okay, ops team needs a change in the operating system. They need a new operating system to test out certain things. So they would raise the request to ops teams would serve the request. But before ops teams serve the request, ops teams would do a lot of checks, right? They would check if the infrastructure is stable, or else before they provide this change, they would do lot many checks to make sure at any cost infrastructure would be stable. Means they would check whether all the services would be running, all other services would be up and running, any access will be disconnected, any networks going to be disconnected, anything going to hamper other existing infrastructure. They should do all these checks, because if something goes wrong, they have to take care of it, right? So meaning here ops teams will always look for stability in the infrastructure, right? Whereas dev team definitely needs agility in the infrastructure to test out many things, right? Or to check, to develop the code in a different machine, or they may need some service for all these activities. So they would always look for agility, whereas ops teams look for stability in the infrastructure. And definitely their core areas of expertise is also different. Means developers will be good at some programming knowledge, like they'll be good at coding, they'll be having good knowledge on the DB schema and so on. Whereas ops teams, they are good at deployments, right? They're good at configuring the servers, administering the servers, administering the infra and so on. Means these two teams have the different areas, different skill set, right? Their core skills are different. Their areas of expertise are different. So now what happens, because of their core skills are different, each team cannot understand the challenges of others, or else each team may not be able to understand the requirements of others exactly, right? Means there is a gap between the teams. There is a communication gap between the teams, because each team doesn't understand the requirements, challenges of others, right? So there is always a gap between the teams, because see, whenever development team raised a request, ops team would be taking so much time to serve the request, right? Before they serve the request, they should do a lot of checks, right? They should do a lot of checks. They should check for stability. They have to do all of these things before they serve the request. Hence, obviously, they take more time. And sometimes dev team or QA team may need the requirements on time, or else they might be in hurry, right? Definitely, they'll be waiting for the changes they need. They don't understand. There is a blame game. Dev team or ops team, QA team doesn't understand why ops team is taking too long to serve the request, right? Similarly, ops team doesn't understand why developers need all these changes, which may lead to instability of the infrastructure. Hence, there arises some gap, because each doesn't understand the challenges of others, right? So they don't collaborate well. How to overcome this gap so that teams will understand the challenges of others and work more productively and work more effectively with the proper communication? How is that possible? How we make that possible? Any way? What is the solution for this?
Combine all the operations.
Meaning, like what exactly we should do to combine all this? How to
There
overcome
should be,
this gap? Mm.
there
Integrate the
should be a
process.
connection between every team, such a way that should get used to.
To overcome this gap, okay, there came different methodologies, and now DevOps is the one which could successfully overcome this gap with a proper collaboration. So here we were talking about, you might have understood by now, we were talking about why DevOps came in. Why do we need DevOps, right? We will understand this, and one of the such reasons is gap between the teams. We were talking about why DevOps came in. One of the reasons is gap. To eliminate the gap, to have the teams with a proper collaboration, right? That's one reason. Is that the only reason why DevOps came in? Definitely not, right? There were many other reasons. Another reason is like to eliminate the, or else to pick up the speed or to increase the velocity of deployments. Means what was that, or how is this happening? Let me give another example. Let's say there is a dev team. Okay, they were writing the code, application is ready, let's say, and they hand over this application to QA team. Okay, let's say they hand it over to QA team. QA team means testing team. They have tested it. Of course, they might have tested it manually or with automation. Or again, there were different types and levels of testing. I'm not going into that part. Okay. So yeah, they will test the application, and once they test it, if they find the bugs, to whom they'll send again the bugs or defects? Developers, right? So this process keep on continuing until the application is defect free. Let's say the application is defect free. Now it has to go for deployment. What is meant by deployment or release? What is meant by this? Like it is available for end users, right? So that end users can use the application. Of course, first they will release it to lower environments than to the higher environment. So they are releasing the application here. So how are they releasing in the traditional approach? See, here I'm not talking about DevOps. I'm talking about the traditional approach without DevOps. So they hand over this application to ops teams. Correct? So how do they handle, how do they hand over? They hand over this application, means the artifact, and they will also include some instruction document. Instruction document, what does this contain? What is this instruction document? Instruction document dev team or QA team provides will have the instructions of, let's say we are talking about Java. So which version of Java should be installed on the servers, or else which version of Tomcat should be there, which version of Linux server they have to deploy, which distribution of Linux they have to deploy. They'll give all the application requirements and application compatibilities. Am I correct? Agree with this, everyone, whoever in the traditional process. Yeah.
Yes.
And ops team will follow this instruction document, and they have to deploy this application so that it reaches end users. But when ops team is following this documentation, which is provided by dev and QA, dev or QA team, right? And who have got different skill set, who have got different, or else totally they work from different mindset, right? So they are following this document. Ops, sometimes what happens is challenges, ops teams may not be able to understand the document provided by dev team because, like I said, their perspective is different, right? They may not be able to understand it, or else sometimes those instructions might not be working on the servers these ops teams were using, right? Practically, there would be so many challenges, or else there might be some mistakes also in this instruction document because they may never work on different distribution of Linux or else on Windows machines, right? So ops teams have to work on all these issues. They have to fix them. They have to see all the compatible versions for the application and for the servers they have, right? They have to fix all of these things and see the application is running. Not only that, they have to also look for high availability of the application, right? Something might not be broken and the business should not go down. Application should be always available for end users. All these things they should take care of, which obviously takes a lot of time, right? And they end up deploying it at a very later stage. Means, let's say application is handed over on December. It might be deployed on March, which is taking a lot of time, right? Time taking, right? Lot of effort, all the things are happening manually, obviously there might be challenges, errors, mistakes may happen, right? Also, they have to figure out the high availability, which is going to be huge challenge, and deployment is very slow, right? Then again, how to overcome this process? See, here the main problem is this one. They were not like ops teams don't understand developers, or developers don't understand ops teams. And then everything is manual. These are the two challenges. So here the solution is again DevOps, which makes these teams work in proper collaboration. It doesn't mean that developers should go and write the code. Sorry, the ops team should go and write the code. No, developers will always write the code, right? Developers will write the code, and once they hand over the code, ops teams should know how to deploy it without much instructions or which much dependency on dev team, right? This comes with automation. Means DevOps came in, which speeds up, which accelerates the deployment process, and also which automates the whole deployment process, first to lower level environments, then to production. Means application or any feature developed will hit the production servers through complete automation, no manual intervention. You might be worried if to production it goes automatically, don't we have any risks and challenges? We will talk about it separately, but deploying to production automatically doesn't mean it's not going to lower level environments. It is first deployed to lower level environments and then to production, complete automation. This is possible through the use of automation tools. Many automation tools can be used here. And also not only just automation, the way of deployment or the way of development has completely changed. That's where the change came in. Way of development and way of deployment change means in traditional approach, I told you developers are giving this application directly and the instruction document. But in DevOps, how the developers hand over the application is completely changed. Means they hand over it by containerizing it. Like they containerize it and share the application in the form of Docker image. What is that and all we will discuss. We are having separate dedicated chapters for it. You have to just understand, yes, the way of deployment, the way how developers hand over the application means the way of development have changed. It doesn't mean that ops team should go and write the code so that they understand developers. No, they have to understand the process, how they were packing their code with Docker. So that's what we were learning Docker here. So now the question is, who should learn DevOps? Correct? Developers. Let's say you worked as a developer for 10 years. You have 10 years experience. You are a developer. You still want to continue in development only. You don't want to become a DevOps engineer because you have passion for development, which is fine. But still you have to learn this DevOps content, because particularly Docker and all, because you should know how you should containerize your application to share it to the DevOps teams. Am I making sense? So yes, developers should learn it. Even though you don't want to work as a DevOps engineer, you still have to learn it. Even testers, everyone should learn how to containerize their application, how their container is deployed in the new fashion of automation. Everyone should know it. Now coming to DevOps, who is a DevOps person? Once application code is ready by developers, once automation test cases are ready by testers, once they hand over this to you, how do you take this process to production through the automation? Not only just that our DevOps is not just blindly an automation. It involves a lot of strategies, which are called DevOps strategies, DevOps methodology, the best methodology which works. Once who knows these things after development, right, can become a DevOps person. So if you want to become a DevOps person, you should know how to take your application to production table through automation by involving proper DevOps strategies and proper usage of the tools. That's what is DevOps. Am I clear and good? Second reason, got it everyone? To speed up the deployments. And that's what companies need, right? Companies need to deploy or to deliver their new features to end users very quickly. That's what DevOps is doing. Also, because it's completely automation, you can expect quality products, error prone, right? Less people, complete automation, very less people. That's what companies are looking for it. All the Zygatic companies are already implementing it. And in the couple of years, all small scale companies, mid-sized companies will also step into this DevOps approach. So it's a right time to invest your time and effort and learn such technologies. The strongest one in this process of automation and the DevOps methodology will survive in the market. And this process of taking your application, right, to production table through complete automation is called CI/CD pipelines, right? We will talk about those separately, but yeah, that's called CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery pipelines, right? Which help you to increase the velocity of your deployments with quality products, which organizations need. Any questions? Am I good?
Yep.
Any questions? Anyone lost? Any confusions? Anything you need me to repeat? Please speak up, or you can message in the chat window with your confirmation, or you can give thumbs up. Good to go.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for confirming. Let's have an interactive sessions. Okay. It's not that we just go in a monologue kind of, it's just one way speaking. Okay. You should speak up so that makes our learning better. Pramila, have you joined a little bit late? Gap I'm talking about, no proper collaboration between different teams. Okay. There is no proper collaboration, no proper understanding why developers are requesting the changes or why developers need this infra and ops team have to serve them with the infra. There is a lot of gap between the teams because they don't understand challenges of others. With the DevOps, because they work with the proper collaboration and proper communication, they should be communicating to containerize their app, right? So there will be working with the proper collaboration with much more better understanding. And also now DevOps team, what are the tools they need? I mean, what are the knowledge they need? They need to know the DevOps methodology, DevOps tool stack. They know how developers containerize that because they will be learning and mastering Docker. That's how they know the challenges of others. So this gap is eliminated. And these are the two reasons deployments became faster and the gap is eliminated. And the other reason is it can overcome the challenges posed by traditional methodologies. Right? What are the challenges posed by traditional methodologies? What are the traditional methodologies? I'm talking about software development lifecycle. What is a software development lifecycle?
How the software is developed
Yeah,
in different
software
phases.
development lifecycle is nothing but sequence of activities involved in developing an application. Right? See, you don't need to learn SDLC and all for this. Just whatever I'm showing you here, if you understand, that would be enough. Like SDLC is nothing but it shows sequence of activities involved in developing an application, like requirement gathering. First, requirements will be gathered from the client. Then requirement analysis means understanding the requirements. And then comes design, right? Coding, testing, delivery, and maintenance. These are the different phases involved. Okay, and also these phases goes one by one. Means after gathering, analysis begins. After analysis, design. After design, coding, and so on. And yes, I'm talking about waterfall methodology. There were different SDLC methodologies, and I'm talking about waterfall methodology, which served the industry for decades, right? Like, yeah, it served the industry for decades, but it has got lot many challenges. And why the name waterfall? See, because it just goes in one direction from top to bottom. Let's suppose someone is in coding phase. If client came with new requirements, that's not possible. Going back is not possible. That's what is this waterfall methodology. This served the industry for decades, but it has got many challenges. Let's talk about challenges faced by dev team. Dev team face certain challenges uh, like let's suppose they have developed some code. This will not go for testing immediately, maybe after 3 months. Meanwhile, developers will be working on some new code. Then testing begins on the old code. So now developers have to work on this new code as well as fix on the bugs in the old code, which gives a lot of pressure to developers. And also testing is delayed because testing done at a later stages will be very costly. So these are the one of the challenges, like the methodology is very slow, right? It takes some months for the code to get into testing phase. And also this methodology is not flexible. Like I just mentioned, suppose you are in coding. Client cannot give modifications or require new requirements or changes. Meaning, let's say you got these requirements in 2023. They will be freezed. No more changes, no more new requirements will be handled. Okay. And maybe on like 2024, you will be, or 2025, you will deliver it. Right. Meanwhile, no changes, no requirements were taken because, but nowadays, it's a business is completely changing. It's a customer facing world. If this is the case, it doesn't work in reality, right? Because client may not need it anymore after 2 years, right? Because many things changes. It should be able to handle those changes. So that is another thing. Also, like I just now mentioned, complete software will be delivered all at once, like after 2 years. Client may not need it, the same one which they have requested for on 2023, because means they want to accumulate or accommodate so many new changes, right? Which is not possible here. So these are some of the challenges faced by dev team. Similarly, ops team also face challenges because of this process, right? Because this process is taking time, they have to maintain the servers up for longer duration, which is a challenge, of course, manually, and there is no proper configuration management. See, configuration management is a separate concept which will be doing it and which where we'll be using some Ansible. But here understand configuration management means you will have to have a good control on the infrastructure. Means what is happening on which server at what point of time, which is not possible here, right? So poor configuration management. Monitoring is a challenge. There is no monitoring tool. Everything is being monitored manually. See, if there are 2 or 3 servers, you can monitor them manually. If the infrastructure is huge, you can't monitor them, right? Manually, right? You need a tool to check the status of services, servers, to check the resource utilization and all. So these are all the challenges faced by both dev team and ops team because of this waterfall methodology. How to overcome these challenges? Yeah. Anyone?
Either we should automate them, and both DevOps and operations team should work collaboratively. That was
Yeah. Actually, to overcome these challenges, there came Agile methodology in picture. That's where Agile methodology came in. What is Agile? Agile methodology, yes, it can overcome the challenge of dev team, but challenges of ops team are still there. Right? It can overcome, means it is successful to overcome challenges of this. But challenges of ops team were still there. Then we need something else. That's where DevOps came in. Right? DevOps can overcome challenges of both. Am I making sense and everyone following? Yeah. So that's another thing why DevOps came in. But as we came to Agile also, let me talk about few pointers here for Agile. Yes, Agile is successful to certain extent to overcome dev team challenges. But how? By implementing continuous integration and continuous development. Meaning, if you take Agile methodology, let's take a week 1. Let's say here code will be developed in bits and parts, in chunks. A chunk of code is developed. Okay. On week 2, immediately this chunk of A would go for testing. Meanwhile, developers are not sitting idle. They will develop another chunk of code B. Again, on some other week, let's say on week 3, this B will be going for testing. And again, at some point of time, means at week 4, let's say, all this code will be combined and tested. A plus B will be combined and tested. Then only it makes a complete product, right? That should be combined and tested, which makes the complete product. Means if you notice, see here, what is happening? Sorry, on week 2, chunk of code B is developed, right? If you notice any particular week, development and testing are happening parallelly, iteratively, continuously, whatever you do. Means see, week 2, both development testing happening. Here also on week 3, right? B will be tested. Week 3, B will be tested. They'll be developing another chunk of code C, right? Because of this, testing is happening immediately. Bug fixing becomes easier for developers, right? Because of this, it could eliminate challenges of dev team, because every week or every alternative week or every 15 days once there will be release, code will be released. Means every week this process happening means it is flexible. They can handle any changes or requirements from the clients, right? Also, code is not completely developed and delivered. It will be developed in bits and parts, in chunks. So what is the use? Any feedback would be taken and that would be modified, corrected and released in the next sprint. That's called sprints or releases, whatever you call. We are not getting into Agile methodology, but just an overview. And this process is called continuous development, continuous testing, and continuous integration, right? They could develop every week tested, every week integrated. This process is happening, which could eliminate the challenges of dev team. We will again separately visualize this process of continuous development, testing, and integration. But this is an overview of how Agile could overcome the challenges of dev team. Any questions in this part from anyone?
No, Preethi.
Are you all good?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Any questions, if you have, you can speak out. And thanks for your confirmation. So these are the certain things which brought DevOps into picture. DevOps came in, which can overcome all these challenges. Means now what is DevOps? Now that we understood why DevOps came in, let's understand what is DevOps. Right? DevOps is nothing but continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring. This is what is DevOps. And continuous means parallelly, iteratively, right? So which is called DevOps. This is a methodology. DevOps is a methodology. It's a process. It's not a tool, or it's not a programming language, or it's not a new feature. It's a methodology. Means it's a process, right? This is the process, and it's a continuous process of improvement and implementation. It's not that, okay, let's say we shall start DevOps from tomorrow and DevOps is completed by this month. No, there is no completion. It's a continuous process of improvements and implementation. Means you should study the pipeline and see wherever improvements possible, and we keep on improvising the deliveries, right? Be it the speed, be it the quality, so, and be it the high available. All of these are into picture, right? And let me tell you now, okay, developers write the code. Okay, now it should go to the production table automatically. It should reach the production table with complete automation. Yes, that is possible in DevOps. And here, a lot of things are involved in this process, isn't it? When your code is going to production table automatically, many things, lot of process, lot of tools are involved here, which is nothing but DevOps. So as a DevOps person, you should learn this process of automation and what are all the things happening here, right? That is what is DevOps. You should know what are all the things happen here. That is what we'll be dealing in this course. So whoever interested in DevOps, you should know after development process till it reaches the production, right? Yes, Srinivasan, any question? You have raised your hand.
Yes. So regarding the method of waterfall, so waterfall is an manual methodology, or it's a different methodology?
Manual.
Uh, Manual. Okay. So Agile will be an automation, right?
Agile is automation to certain extent, unsuccessful to certain extent to till this part.
Okay.
Continuous
Got it.
development, testing, and integration, but continuous deployment monitoring, it was not successful. It's not that's not the aim of Agile.
Okay. Thank you, Preethi.
See, if you want me to differentiate, these three methodologies. Let me show you. Okay, first let's talk about SDLC, a typical, basic SDLC methodology. Okay, you have development and you have testing and you have, sorry. Okay, let me put, okay, testing, deployment, everything manual. Okay, and then monitoring, everything manual, one after the other. Okay, then came Agile. In Agile, you have continuous development, means every week development happen, continuous testing. Every week, the new changes will be integrated into the system and it will be tested. But then again, deployment is manual. Once everything is done, then deploy, then monitor. Okay, now if you talk about DevOps, continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment means any new feature will be deployed to the production as well automatically, and continuous monitoring, right? That's what is DevOps with respect to the phases. How is that possible? By the use of the tools involving the proper DevOps strategies, right? Also, if you talk about the teams, SDLC team, you have separate dev team, you have separate testing team, you have separate ops team, and they are working in silos. Silos means in separation with no proper understanding, with no proper collaboration. And then in Agile, because development and testing are happening parallelly, iteratively, they communicate better. It doesn't mean that tester will go and write the code or developer will go and write the test cases. No, they still perform their role, but they work with proper collaboration, proper understanding, because this is happening parallelly every week. So we were considering them like dev team, but still ops team is left in isolation in Agile. Then DevOps even brought these two teams together. Here dev means already QA included. So that is what is DevOps. Means they work with proper collaboration. Unlike in traditional methodology, dev team is not handing over their application as an artifact. Rather, they were handing over as a Docker image. Docker image is the same subject for dev team and ops team. There is a common skill set, or now they have their common technology like a Docker or the CI/CD pipelines where they communicate, they understand properly. They'll share the Docker image. Ops teams now need not struggle for the underlying compatibility versions and all. They just take this Docker container and deploy it onto the different environments like test, prod and all, which makes the process seamless. How exactly it is? Okay, fine, we understood what is DevOps, but how to do this? How is this possible? How to implement it? That is what we'll be taking up from tomorrow. Complete hands-on. It's not, you can't build a CI/CD pipeline in a day, in an overnight. It takes some couple of months, which is our course duration. Through this course, step by step, we'll build the CI/CD pipeline end to end. Right now, clear? I think this should clarify many of your questions like I'm a developer or else I'm not a developer. Should I know coding? Should I know code? Should I write the code to do these deployments? Hope those questions were answered, because those would be the definitely majority of the questions like should I know coding? Should I write the code like a developer? Hope those questions were answered.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is why DevOps came in, what is DevOps, and we will be learning how to implement it from tomorrow. Tomorrow, like I said, hands-on begins. Okay, get ready for that. Okay, slowly, step by step, we'll build the pipeline. Okay, you will get much more clarity on how our pipeline is in few more minutes. Can I go ahead now? Any more questions? Should I proceed?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, you can.
All right, thank you. So that's what we were talking about, like overview of DevOps. And the agenda, today's agenda is we were talking about big picture of DevOps, roles and responsibilities of DevOps person. You should be a DevOps person, should be working at any stages of this automation, means at any stages of this CI/CD pipeline, or at any stage of building your infrastructure with automation through Terraform. These are the roles and responsibilities we'll be talking about in much more detail as we progress about this. And DevOps delivery pipeline, tools and skill set. So this is what we have already discussed. See, these presentations will be provided to you for reference like a class notes. After the class, you can go through. This is what we have discussed. Drawbacks of waterfall, Agile, why DevOps came in, what is DevOps. See the differences which I have shown you, like design, coding, testing, development, deployment. In Agile, you have again design, coding, right? Testing iteratively, but deployment is at the end manual. Right, Agile with continuous deployment, like even deployment, you can see the blue part repetitive. Can you see that? Design, coding, testing, deployment, again design, coding, deployment is happening also iteratively, continuously. The term continuous is important, right? And then the roles and responsibilities and the skills and tools of a DevOps engineer. See, these are all the tools we'll be learning in this course. Let me also walk you through the list. Yes, you will get recordings for every class, including today's Srinivas. Okay, here we'll be learning a version control system called Git. See, you might be having a question, what is a version control system? Like I said, we are going to have a separate dedicated chapter for each topic. Today, I'm just showing you the list of the topics. Tomorrow, we will start with this Git. Okay, then I'll talk about what is version control system, architecture of it, then the hands-on. Everything from the basics till advanced concepts, so that you can implement and clear all the questions on the all the interview questions as well on the particular tool, right? That is the agenda. So tomorrow we'll start with Git. And yes, we'll be talking about Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Ansible, and Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker Swarm. We have huge content in Docker, and Prometheus, Grafana, and certain AWS services required for DevOps. All these things will be covered. And here, the reason for choosing the tool is I'm choosing a particular tool which is the leader in the market. Means there were so many version control systems. If you have heard about it, there's Git, SVN, PTFS, and so on. You don't need to learn all the tools. You learn one tool under each category. Your expertise in one category. You can work on any other tools because they follow the same logic, same kind of analogy, same concept, right? So you have to master one tool. It's not that you should learn all the tools. Okay, there are hundreds of tools in each category. But yeah, learn the one which is widely used in the market so that you get chances of working in the project using the same tool. Even though if you want to switch over, it would be very much beneficial. Git is very widely used. Same is the case with Jenkins, Docker, and so on. That's the reason for choosing these tools, right? And also that's what companies are looking for. Companies are not looking for you should know all the version control systems, all the configuration management tools. You know one configuration management tool, you know one version control system, you know one container orchestrator, that is good, right? So that you can work on any others if required, because these tools keep on coming. Means there were so many new tools coming up in the market. So okay, there is a question from Yogesh. How much AWS, the one which is going to be covered in the training? 1 minute. How much AWS, the one which is going to be covered in this training, will be required? See, here we'll be covering AWS, whichever is required for you as a DevOps person. Here, the main agenda is DevOps. In this course, you will learn DevOps to implement on any platform, be it on-premise, be it on cloud. It's not cloud specific. DevOps is particularly a methodology. You can implement it on any cloud or on-premise also. This course will help you implement DevOps on any platform. You can implement, once after taking this course, you can implement DevOps on-premise as well, on any cloud as well. And as an example for cloud, we were using AWS. So whatever required for us to implement AWS, we will be learning here. Both will be covered, Nagaraj. Both Ansible and Terraform will be covered. Any more questions on this page? And by the way, there are no prerequisites because everything I'll be teaching from the basics. Here, majority of the tools needs Linux environment. So Linux is required. If you are completely new from Linux also, you don't need to worry. Like I said, we'll teach Linux basics to get started with, and then we'll take up these tools. So no prerequisites. Everything will be covered in the course.
Hi, Preethi, Ravindra here.
Hi, Ravindra.
Yeah, how will be the practice? Are you going to provide any console
Yes.
kind of thing,
Yep. See, we will.
or
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, like so after class, right? We have to practice things like what we have done. So how we can do that? Suppose I don't have that environment setup, I don't have AWS account to create the infra and all. If you are showing something, then
So now,
is there any? Yeah.
so yes, this course we will be doing everything on AWS. Okay, we will be
Okay.
implementing everything on AWS. So you don't need to install anything on your laptop except Git. Git is a very small thing you can install on any laptop like Windows, Linux, Mac also will work. Okay, but once we get into the other tools, we will be using AWS. We can create a free account on AWS. Everyone will be creating your own free account on AWS. Okay, how to do that we will show you. So we will set up our lab on AWS for free, and you can use it at your own pace, at your own interest, at your convenience.
Okay.
Right? And also here I'm telling you AWS means here I will show it. We will do the lab on AWS. It doesn't mean that you can implement only on AWS. You can implement the same on Azure or on on-prem also. So that's how the scenarios will be covered. Okay, yes, Gopal,
good.
real-time scenarios will be covered end to end in every tool. And there is a question from another participant, where do Azure DevOps fall in this tool section? Like I said, it's a platform. Azure, AWS, GCP, Linode, DigitalOcean, hundreds of cloud providers are there. Okay, that's just a platform. Here, my course will be in such a way that after taking up this course, you can implement it on any platform, be it cloud or be it on-premise. And also, that's what companies were looking for. If you have knowledge on one cloud, they're expecting that you can work on any cloud tomorrow when anything comes new in the market or if they were using anything else. There
Got
will
it,
be
Preethi.
multiple deployment strategies. There will be multiple deployment strategies covered, Bhupati, like blue-green deployment, canary deployment strategy, rolling update, default deployment strategy, all these will be covered. Yes, after the class, you will be having assignments every day. You will have quiz every day, which you have to cover. And there's a question from Nagasai. I don't know the basics of coding also, and we normally use Groovy to write pipelines. So you are going to teach that as well. Here, you don't need to have any coding skills. Okay, I'm answering for everyone because many of you might be having still the same question. You don't need to learn coding. We don't write the code. If you write the code, what developers will do? Development team still is there. They write the code, they develop the application. Okay, to build the pipelines or to build the infra, you will be using some scripts. Writing script is not like how developers write the code. Okay, writing the script can be made much simple with a lot of things in the market right now. I'll guide you all the ways and I'll show you how you can do. Everyone can write the CI/CD pipelines which are Groovy based. It's not exact Groovy, for your information, Nagasai. It's not exact Groovy. That is Groovy based, which we will be learning here. Hope that answers your question. See, if your questions are answered, please respond back.
Yeah, thanks, Preethi.
Yep. And there's a question from Sri Harsha. Preethi, do you provide any hands-on on project end-to-end so that we can furnish it in our CV? I will show you hands-on on multiple projects, Sri Harsha, a monolithic application and also microservice application. End-to-end pipelines will be shown, but you cannot put them in your resume because the projects you put in your resume, they should be provided by some vendor and so on. You can put the flow. Let's suppose you are working as a developer. Okay, you worked on a developer for some, let's say for some retail project. Okay, you have worked as a developer. But how you can showcase that as a DevOps engineer with a complete flow end-to-end, how you can explain that will help with this course. Because I show you the complete end-to-end flow, you can relate the same to your application. Hope you got it. And there's a question from Yogesh, how much confidence will this training bring? I mean, after training, do you feel as we have working since 3 years. Definitely, Yogesh, the point is your dedication and your effort, your time. Okay, you have to master the things every day. Whatever I'm teaching here, you should master them on daily basis without piling up the things or postponing the things. Right? Every day hands-on is a must. Obviously, you can clear your interviews with confidence for sure. Many students in my previous batches have switched their careers, have switched their roles into DevOps. They have multiple offers as well. So obviously that's possible. Lambda is not covered, Bhupatraj. And Pramila says DevOps course duration how many days? It will be for 2 months, Pramila, every day 1 to 1.5 hour session. Right? And this is the course content. I mean, the brief content. Okay, detailed content I'll provide you. I'll show you that as well. And I'll take up your questions again in a while. See here, this is the complete CI/CD pipeline we will be building in our course on multiple applications, not just one application, on multiple applications, right? See here, developers write the code and place it in version control system. It will be pulled, which is called continuous. This is continuous development, continuous builds, continuous testing, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring. See, each tool comes into picture. Here, version controlling, Git is used, Apache Maven for builds, Selenium or any automation. It could be any tool for testing. Here, see, DevOps person doesn't write test case or doesn't write the code. Developers will write the code. Everyone is involved in this pipeline. Dev team is involved. Testing team is involved who will write the test cases. DevOps team will execute that test case automation through automation and deploy it using Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform for infrastructure provisioning and monitoring via Prometheus and visualization with Grafana. All this complete CI/CD pipeline could be implemented, excuse me, could be implemented on-prem or else on cloud also. That's what I have given AWS here separately. You may implement it on-premise as well.
Okay.
So this can be implemented on-prem as well as on any cloud. Here as an example, I'll be showing it to you on AWS. On-prem means their own data centers, Rajesh. What is cloud? What is meant by on-premise data centers, their own data centers? We will discuss it. Just understand on cloud means like AWS, Azure, GCP, Linode, DigitalOcean, right? So many are there. On-premise means companies will have their own data centers, their own servers. There also you can implement this DevOps. This course will help you implement DevOps irrespective of the platform. We will discuss in detail. Sure, definitely I'll elaborate on it. Yes, that's a build tool. Apache Maven is a build tool, Pramila. Build tool is actually a developer tool. Okay, here you have to know an overview of it, which we will be learning. You don't need to do coding for it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And Yogesh says, I was going through job openings. I found in JV that their SRE and DevOps requirements are both same or different. Same to certain extent. Okay, the SRE also should know the same DevOps strategies and all, but SRE would be more concentrating on the metrics part, means monitoring part. They will be 24/7 monitoring and supporting. Means, let's say you have got your deployments happening, okay, with high availability, and this is happening in, let's say 9 minutes. Okay, they want to further improvise it, further automate all the steps. They have to reduce the overlaps, lagging and all. Okay, they will be working on refining these metrics. That's what SRE would be more into. Okay, there is a question from Prasad. If we need certification, then want to be done and from where we can get as companies asking for certificates. Prasad, coming to your question, there is no specific certification for DevOps. Of course, some cloud providers offers it, but that's not a proper DevOps certification. If you want to do DevOps certification, you have to do certification on individual tools. Okay, like you have to do separate certification on Kubernetes, you have to do separate certification on Docker, and so on. That's how you have to take up the certification. This course will definitely help you. But the certification content will be different. The content you use in real time will be different. This content is which you use in your real time. Of course, the same content, there'll be overlapping in the content for certification, but certification practice would be different kind of. For everyone to understand, let me give you a small example. We have all done our 10th standard, right? And then 12th standard, right? 12th standard, like intermediate, there'll be some competitive exams like NEET, right? JEE or MSET and so on, right? Do you all know that? I believe majority of us have come from the same thing, same administrative, same education background, right? Yeah. So intermediate MSET syllabus is same, but how you prepare to them, how you take up it, it is different, right? The competitive exam, it will be all objective. It will be it should be more on a time specific, right? You should be completing within the time limit and more objective kind of. Same is the case here. This course will help you work in the projects. Certifications should be, there should be a separate practice, a separate perspective of a certification. Got my point, everyone? Whoever having questions regarding certification. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, this course will help you how to take up. This will help you to take certification also, but to score more. Okay, the perspective of the exam would be different. You should complete that in a certain time period, objectives more kind of. So that practice, and there might be certain additional topics. That's how you should go for certification. Let me take up a few other questions there. There is a question from Sushanta. As a DevOps person, we do implement the infra via IAC, right? This is my understanding. As a cloud engineer, I do things in ClickOps model and trying to learn IAC approach. I have select DevOps approach since I have seen Azure DevOps platform being used for that. Terraform has been used for infra build. Correct, Sushanta, will be using IAC where Terraform will be used. And Terraform will be used to provision the infra not only on not only on Azure, it could be used for AWS or any cloud for that matter. So we'll be using Terraform to spin up to provision the infrastructure on AWS so that you could implement it on any cloud.
Preethi, thanks for that clarification.
You're welcome. And I think I answered questions regarding certifications. Hope your questions are answered. Prasad, Rajesh.
Yes, Preeti.
And there is a question from Nagaraj. Maven build all kinds of artifacts like Java and Python .NET. Maven is basically for Java projects, Nagaraj. Okay, for each technology, there's a different tool. But like I said, if you know Maven, if you get an understanding of Maven, again, similar tools or else other tools are also similar. You need to know the flow. Like for Maven, there is a build file. Similarly, every tool will have a build file. As a DevOps person, what you should understand in this build file, all of that will know so that you can work on any tool.
Preethi, could you coming in? I just disconnected and connected back on the Maven.
So what I was
build
telling
tools.
is Maven is for building Java projects. Okay, to build other projects, there were different tools. Okay, but if you learn one build automation tool, like I already mentioned, right? If you know one tool in the category, other tools are similar. They follow the same analogy, same logic, right? Same is the case here also. It's not that you should go and see all the build automation tools. If you know, like for example, I'll give a simple example. Maven will use a build file like POM. Similarly, every tool will have its own build file. As a DevOps person, we'll be understanding build file to a certain extent. If you understand build file of Maven, others are similar. So this is the CI/CD pipeline. This is just an overview or a big picture. Every day, like from tomorrow, we will be jumping into each section. We'll be zooming into each section. Like initially, we'll be starting with Git. Then we'll be zooming into Maven. Then to Jenkins. Okay, then to automate the phases. We'll be talking about once the testing phase is also done. Okay, we'll include this phase. And then Docker. Okay, concentrate or zoom into each part. We will be zooming to each section separately from basics till advanced topics. Let's say, okay, we will take up Terraform. Learn from basics till advanced. Then come back and add it in the CI/CD pipeline. That's how step by step you will build the pipeline. As days goes by, you will get the complete flow. That is the essence. And once it is monitored, it will send the feedback to respective teams. Of course, not always to developers, to the respective teams. That's how we'll get started. Tomorrow we'll be starting with Git. Okay, you will see the architecture, you will see everything related to Git, like what is a version control system, then the hands-on. Okay, completely all the advanced concepts of Git will be covered. Then we will add it to the pipeline with the Jenkins, and that's how we'll proceed. And also he'll be here, the complete course will be scenario based. It's not that because we should complete the content, complete all the AWS services, then complete all the tools. No, as per the scenario means we'll take up a use case. In this use case, you need a particular AWS service. Then you will learn that AWS service. Then you may go later to Docker. Then you have the need for container. Then you will learn Docker. That's how we'll proceed with the content. And also, yeah, the lab setup tomorrow tomorrow we'll not do AWS thing. AWS we will do after Git. So you don't need a free account of AWS tomorrow. Tomorrow you can use Git on your local machine, whether it is Windows or Linux or Mac, whatever it is, that's fine. Yes, GitOps Argo CD will be covered, Nagendra. Okay, what is GitOps and all we'll see. And once you are enrolled, you will get access to this. Can you all see this page? Yeah. Can you all see this? So this is the folder on Drive with so many subfolders for each tool. Okay, today's presentation is also available here. Today's PPT, the presentation I have given, this is available here. Same is the case.
Yes,
You go with Git. Okay, Git presentation again. Okay, Git hands-on commands, Git installation, Git references, how to connect, everything you have here. Right? This is the course, this is the material you will get. Also, if you visit my website, you will get access to this management portal, LMS, Learning Management Portal. Okay, here is again the lab material, interview questions. Okay, everything you have here. First, let me take you to this quiz portal. Right, here are the quiz. Every day you are supposed to take up this quiz. Let's say from tomorrow, if you go here, see you have multiple quiz here. This is for you to understand, evaluate yourself. We'll get this score also once you complete. Every day you are supposed to go through this quiz and the assignments over here. Lab assignments. And interview based questions on every topic. See here. Okay, Git assignments. You can go here. Right, you have a separate topic assignments on separate topic. Same is the case with the interview questions. You will get access to all of these things. If you go to Git, I'm showing you the first tool. Same is the case with anything. Here again, beginner level, intermediate level, advanced level, scenario based, everything are here. You have to do these hands-on as well. These are the things which you have to go through daily apart from the things we do in the class. Lab setup, everything will show from the beginning. You don't need to worry or do have any prerequisite kind of. Oh, you are not seeing my screen? Can you all see the screen? Google Drive on the website?
Yeah.
Yes.
Please check from your end. Whoever cannot see, Durai Raj, please check, recheck from your end. Right? And also complete support will be there through WhatsApp. You are having a WhatsApp group now, right? A general group. Registered students will be moved to a separate group, right? Where you will have a hands-on, support during your hands-on. When you are stuck up with the hands-on, you can post the screenshot there. Other team members can respond. And whenever I have a time, once I have time, I will also respond to the queries. That's how you'll have a support during your hands-on. Any more questions? So that is the overview of the course. Any more questions you have? Anything else you want to share? You can.
Preethi, sorry,
Yeah, please go one by
please
one.
go.
Yeah, Preethi. What about the build specs? Are you going to teach it? Is Is it related to DevOps or it's related to developer?
Build spec, which build spec you're talking about?
I mean, YAML file or a POM file.
POM file, build file for Maven will not be written by DevOps persons. Okay, that will be written by developers and shared to you along with their code. We don't write it. You have to understand their few things to build the project. That's what we will learn. You will not write those files.
But nowadays, people expecting from DevOps person.
No, not at all. It might be something else, Kiran, not POM file. Check what is that one, but POM file we will never write that. I am just
How
going to show the
about
course.
cloud formation?
Huh?
Are you going to touch it?
Cloud
formation.
formation will not be covered. Okay, Terraform we are covering in place of cloud formation because that's what is used more.
Preethi, actually one doubt. I work in different shifts. Okay, if I miss the class, so I can get video, right?
You will get the
Like,
recording. Yes, you will get the class recordings every day. Everyone will get the class recordings, even though you attend it, because you have to watch it and like do the hands-on. So you will get the class recording every day. And also, if you want to retake that particular topic in other batch, that is possible. Also, if you discontinue for some reasons, you can take up in next batch also. But don't put it in the plan. You should plan it such a way that you are completing in 2 months. You need to get into the job quickly. That should be the agenda. But in worst cases, in some scenarios, if you have to discontinue, you can retake within 1 year. Means you can attend other batches and complete it.
this links access will be with us for how many days? Like
For
that
you will have
nodes.
lifetime access.
Okay. Thank you.
Preeti, can you please share us a detailed content like
Yes,
so
yes.
in
Definitely.
Kubernetes I'm going to see what all.
Yes, tell me Kubernetes.
In Kubernetes like the RBAC strategy and then we have readiness, probeness, liveness, these things and
Readiness
all are there.
probe are just small parameters. Okay. Those are simple parameters. As such, Kubernetes have got so many parameters. You don't need to learn that separately. If you learn the content which we are using, depending on the requirement, you will use those readiness probe and all. Those you don't need to learn as a separate topic.
Okay. What about these role bindings and authentication strategies and all?
Authentication strategies for?
So like if we have an IAM role in AWS account and if we wanna use that, we
No,
have to create our
authentication will not be covered. See, that comes under administrative part. No, that will not be covered. But I can give you an understanding on it. Implementation on our lab setup will not be done.
Okay.
See, those are mostly like what if you learn the content here, those are the things which are like add-ons or top-ups on it. Okay, particularly for certification, you use those readiness probe and all, or else as per the requirement, we'll use them. Those will not be covered.
Okay. So in Kubernetes, what all we are going to cover? Like, can you please just give me a brief?
I'll give you the course content. Okay, I'm just getting the document. Give me 1 minute, please.
Yeah, sure.
Preethi, Rancher and all will be covered in this. Rancher, lane.
Sorry, come again, please.
A rancher.
Hmm?
A rancher will be covered in
No,
this.
Rancher will not be covered. Rancher will not be covered. I'm going to share the content in a while. Just a second.
This rancher is a one tool, right? Means we can access Kubernetes.
It is a platform where you can deploy your Kubernetes Rancher cluster. Okay, here is the course content. Can you see that? So here is the content. This is what we discussed. And then about the Linux, all the Linux topics here, right? Introduction to operating system, virtual machines, file systems, and so on. And then the version control system, different topics in the version control system, like branches, switching the branches, everything. You can go through this part. This is where you have the course content. Cloud services, EC2, S3, ECR, ECS, EKS. EKS is Elastic Kubernetes Service, which is a paid service. Even this will be covered, right? And Maven, okay, understanding the Maven goals, hands-on on Maven. And then the Jenkins, yeah, you have all the Jenkins, including the authorization strategies of Jenkins and deploying the EC2 instance on AWS using the Jenkins pipeline. Containerization with the Docker. Here are the detailed content, detailed topics of Kubernetes. See, Kubernetes is here. Again, EKS is there. On EKS, which is a paid service, managed service of Kubernetes. Here we are covering advanced topics like auto scaling on EKS, right? Auto scaling on EKS, also including EKS in the CI/CD pipeline. All of that were covered. And Terraform, automating the infrastructure, Kubernetes clusters, EC2 instances with Terraform, including the workspaces concept is covered. The workspaces are very important to manage multiple environments in real time. All of that is covered. And Ansible, right? Prometheus and Grafana. And again, certain AWS services, particularly useful for DevOps, like code pipeline, right? Code commit, code build, code deploy. Cloud formation we are not covering because rather than that, Terraform is much more used. So cloud formation will not be covered. And few things which are not there in this also covered because a few things were added up, like Orgo CD will be covered. Hope this content will help you. Recordings, will share the link in the WhatsApp today. Class recording link will be shared in the WhatsApp once it is uploaded. You can message me or Raj on the WhatsApp, Nishit, for fees payments. Yes, for payments on international payments also accepted. You just message on WhatsApp for more details. This is the course content. I think it was shared in the group also in the chat. Okay, I'm sharing this link. Got this link, everyone? In the Zoom chat, you can check out. And also, please don't leave. I have one more thing to share with you. Okay, I'm sharing a quiz here, okay, on today's topics. A quiz which will help you get awareness on few things. I'm launching the quiz. You can answer those queries. Have you all got it? There are also some questions which we did not discuss. That is for you to think and answer. That those questions are given intentionally. Got the quiz, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So please go through it. Certain questions might be there which were not discussed. Think and answer. In the Zoom chat, I have shared all the links. Please save them. Also join the WhatsApp group for information on further classes. That's a general WhatsApp group. Everything is placed on the Zoom chat window.
I joined from the mobile actually. Where will get like Can you share that link in your Zoom chat, right?
All the links were shared in the Zoom chat, including the WhatsApp group, which you have to join. Completed the quiz? Can I end it, or how many of you have completed?
One moment, Preethi.
Sure, sure. Every day session will be at the same timing, 6 to 7:30. Okay, last 15 minutes for questionnaire.
So, Preethi, you have shared all this link
Hmm.
in WhatsApp?
Yes, no, in the Zoom chat. Monday to Friday. Yes, sessions will be from Monday to Friday. In the
Oh,
Zoom chat, can you check the Zoom chat? I
yeah,
have
I'm
shared the
checking.
course content, live training videos, like a live training link, interview
Okay.
questions, lab material, quiz portal, sample resumes will help in building the resumes as
Okay,
per
got it.
custom requirement.
Okay.
And the WhatsApp group link is also there. Save those links and join the groups accordingly.
Okay. Thank you.
So that is all from my end. And if everyone is 24 or 44 have completed it. Please, everyone take up the quiz. Initially, as it's a day one, it might be simple. Okay, the general basic questions given there. Every day you have to have the practice of completing the quiz, which are there in the portal
Wait.
to evaluate yourself.
Preethi,
Hmm.
Preethi, where is that? I'm not able to see actually. Sorry, I logged in from the mobile, so I'm
See,
facing
below in
difficulty.
you have something like chart symbol, right? Chart symbol where you are charting. Can you see the chart symbol? At the same
Yeah, chat
place,
symbol.
you should see 3 icons. When you click that, you will see something like polls and quizzes. You can click that.
Icon. I'm getting that reply reaction.
Polls and quizzes.
Chat.
Besides chart or somewhere, you should see polls and quizzes. Everyone, whoever have not
Yeah.
participated, please go through it. Got the option? Where?
Chat is there,
Hmm.
and reaction. After chat, there is a reaction. No, I have to open the chat. Or
No, not chat. There should be an option like anyone who have accessing it from a mobile.
Yeah, I can able to access from
Can
chat
you
in the
help
mobile
us?
only. I
Where
can.
was it? Can you help with the option where exactly it is?
It is when I click on it, is all the options are available. Participate, I can see chat, everything is there.
Where is it?
yeah,
In the
that
down
quiz option.
taskbar,
The,
you can see
one
mute,
is
start audio.
note is there. After note, there is more. Where you are taking that quiz? setting background effect.
Wait, I'm looking for the option. Recover Nimsha, that is the wrong.
The WhatsApp, I pasted the screenshot. You can just see that.
Okay.
All right, then that's all for today. And I'm ending this poll so that you can see your questionnaires results as well. Got your results? Right answers?
Yes, can see that one on the screen now.
Right. All right then. So that is all for today from my end. We'll continue tomorrow. First, thank you all for joining on your Sunday, spending your valuable time here. Hope to have much more interesting sessions from tomorrow. We'll join at the same time tomorrow. Thank you all. And you can reach me on WhatsApp for any other queries. Thank you all. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Preet. Thank you so much. Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
And you
Thank
have
you.
to
Bye,
use
everyone.
the same link for tomorrow as well. You can use the same link for tomorrow as well. Joining link.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.